This is a DVD review. Actually, you might call this a triple DVD review. The initial DVD review is for this. Bigfoot is Real, from Sasquatch the Abominable Snowman. This is from Reality Entertainment. Amazing accounts of Bigfoot from around the world. Now, I purchased this, and I initially thought it was going to be new material. I thought it was going to be like newer documentary material and things like that. I was a bit disappointed to learn that all it was one DVD with 3 of previously released documentaries on it, and the other was one, well, actually all 4 of the documentaries that are included in this set are previous releases. That's not to say that that's bad material. It's not, but they are previous releases. On the first DVD, you have 3 of J. Michael's documentaries on Sasquatch. J. Michael, the local videographer from Mississippi, from right here in Mississippi. So actually, that's kind of a good thing that they, had a Mississippi boy, had some of his material on here. 3 of his documentaries are included: Bigfooting in Oklahoma, which featured Esther Schroeder; Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster, which is kind of the making of the initial documentary that was shot in 2003 by J. Michael and M.K. Davis; and then Swamp Apes, which was released in 2006. Bigfooting in Oklahoma was released in 2007, and Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster was released last year in 2009. Now, anybody who's read my blog has seen my review of Bigfooting in Oklahoma. But this is actually a review for Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. I find it to be a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at what I thought was a really well done and short documentary. And matter of fact, that particular documentary is included on Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster in its entirety. It's only like 12 minutes long, but there's like I'd say about 15 minutes of behind the scenes anecdotes and notes from J. Michael and M.K. Davis on sort of the behind the scenes, the making of the Honey Island Swamp Monster documentary, the original 2003 documentary. But there's updated material with M.K. Davis and J. Michael on Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really well done. I thought Jay is just a terrific filmmaker. He really does a great job. Of course, it debunks the footprints, the famous footprints of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. It debunks them as being the shoe, possibly the shoe of Harlan Ford, which had the offset resin and wood cast and wire cast, or implement. And also Swamp Apes. Swamp Apes just basically examines the theories of how Sasquatch may have gotten to the United States, how they may have made their way to the South. J. Michael thinks that there's a chance and a possibility they may have come from overseas, and they've gotten into the swamps and things of that nature, and that's why they're called Swamp Apes. Bigfooting in Oklahoma is really good, really excellent. Now, I would give Swamp Apes a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And also the Bigfooting in Oklahoma is really good, with a longtime friend of mine, Esther Schroeder, who I used to talk to on Pal Talk all the time. I haven't talked to her in a long time, though. About 3 years have passed since I've talked to Esther. I hope she's doing okay. Last I heard, she was in the hospital. I hope she's alright. But anyway, it kind of follows her journey and her experiences and her interests her longtime interest in Sasquatch, dating back to when she was a child, and she actually had some sightings herself. She's had sightings through the years, Um, Up through the years, she's had sightings of Sasquatch in Oklahoma, and also had an experience in Louisiana with a friend. She was actually part of, I think, a land surveying team or something of that nature, and really, really fascinating stuff with Esther. And some of it is shot by her, a lot of it is shot by J. Michael. Or some of it is shot by J. Michael, but there's a lot of great footage of the Pacific Northwest from Esther Schroeder and things of that nature. Sorry, mosquito. And it's really, really well done. I really enjoyed Bigfooting in Oklahoma. I would give it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. That was a really enjoyable documentary. And then you have the second disc of this set, which is the previously released Wild Man of Kentucky: The Mystery of Panther Rock, which is actually a good thing because I've never had that one before. I did not have that one previously, and I'm usually the guy who has everything when it comes to Sasquatch on DVD. But this one I did not have, and fortunately, and also Tales of the Honey Island Swamp Monster, I did not have it, or Tale of the Honey Island Swamp Monster. I had not purchased it from J. Michael as of yet, so I was able to get it through this. And anyway, I also got The Mystery of Panther Rock, or The Wild Man of Kentucky, the subtitle, the Mystery of Panther Rock, which is a really interesting documentary. I would give it about a 4 out of 5 stars, only because I didn't like all the CGI stuff they had in it. I wasn't too crazy about that. I mean, I realized they were trying to represent what the Sasquatch looks like and everything, but it just didn't look right. And it basically follows a team led by Philip Spencer, who is a native of Kentucky, into the forests in what is known as the Fraser Land in Anderson County, Kentucky, where they went and they spent one night out there, and they had some interesting experiences where they heard things moving around in the forest, and they thought they heard large entities or animals moving around in the forests. And Philip had about had a pretty sizable team. I don't remember how many. He had 2 others who were part of the crew with him. And then they moved on into visiting the grave of Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone had allegedly shot a 10-foot tall hairy wild man way back in the 1800s. Yes, that Daniel Boone. Or maybe in the 1700s, I'm not sure. And then they do a little bit of research at the library on some of the local history of the area. And then finally, they spent some time at a place called Panther Rock, which is known for all kinds of strange activity, not just Sasquatch, but strange other kinds of animals, like wolf-like animals which walk on 2 feet, dogman perhaps, and also strange lights and orbs floating around. They didn't really have any activity in that area. They were actually joined by a member of the BFRO, Tony Gerard. He's the man who took my report in 2005 for the BFRO. It was good to see him on there. He was also on an episode of the Monster Quest on the Swamp Beast. So it was good to see him. He's actually a professor in Kentucky. He's actually a professor, a wildlife biologist. He's a biologist. He's a naturalist. It was good to see his perspective on things. Anyway, yeah, I give The Wild Man of Kentucky 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really interesting. And overall, this whole set, the entire set, just for the fact that there were documentaries on here that I did not have, I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars, only because I was disappointed because I thought it was newer material, as far as I thought they'd gone out and shot brand new documentary footage and things like that. No, that's not the case, but Overall, I really enjoyed this, and I do recommend getting it. It's at reality-entertainment.com.